Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to everybody. We are live streaming via YouTube at the same time, so no bad behaviour. We'll get complaints. The observant amongst you will notice I am not Professor Becky Parker, and sadly, Becky can't be with us today due to her family bereavement, but she is sending lots and lots of messages of good luck and best wishes, and she's very sad to not be here today with you all, because CERN School is actually a subject that is very, very close to her heart and something she believes in passionately. And if it wasn't for the fact that she believes in it with such vim and vigour, we wouldn't have the Institute for Research in Schools. So we're rapidly approaching the first anniversary of IRIS being formed formally as a charity. And in that intervening 12 months, we've held a formal launch at the Science Museum, which was absolutely packed. First time ever, standing room only in the IMAX theatre. And we've gone on from that, and it's gone from success to success. And in fact, we've now got 247 schools who are anxiously wanting to take part in projects organised by IRIS. 100 of them doing TIMPICS projects. Now, what we're going to be hearing from various schools today is where they've been working on TIMPICS, or they've been working on projects related to the detectors that we lend to schools. And what I'm hoping from those of you that aren't already conducting experiments and doing your own research, that you'll feel inspired and start to pick it up all up on your own. Please make sure you ask us any questions if you're not sure during the course of the day. I've lost Laura and Mike. Laura and Mike will be doing some demonstrations later on, but they are a very important part of the IRIS team, and that they spend a lot of time out and about in schools using detectors and showing schools what they can do with it and creating a really good way forward. So thank you to a pair of them. So, without further ado, I'm going to skip through this because this is the danger when you suddenly pick up somebody else's presentation. You've got lots of slides and you think, I haven't got a clue what that's about. CERN School is the use of the Medipix chip, which Michael is going to be talking to you all about very shortly. And just from this one slide, you can see multiple deployments already in the fact that there's the small cube, which is on the Lucid, which is on the low-level tech down-sat satellite, which is feeding data, which Cal and Jake are going to be talking about a little bit later on. The one at the bottom here, we've got on an Nautilus, which Bethany is going to be talking about. And then on the bottom right is the deployment on the International Space Station, which has been feeding the data to us via NASA, that we've been actually able to make available to schools to do analysis. The really cool news is that NASA love what's going on so much that they've actually started promoting IRIS to US schools. And we've got a school in the States who've actually already started fundraising because they want to come to the symposium here next year and present what they've been doing. So this is becoming worldwide and very quickly. This is Becky's favourite slide, and that is the original Lucid team, a self-portrait. It's really good that they all want to be scientists as opposed to artists. And that is another one of her favourite, which is a selfie taken by the satellite with the Lucid chip on it. So what we've got here is just a brief picture. So one of the opportunities that IRIS tries to provide is for school students to actually go and present their research findings. And this was a recent trip that we took to CERN with Air Academy. Now, Air have been taking the TIMPICS data and they've been looking at it and doing some analysis versus the tectonic plates. And I think they actually had the audience enthralled. We've got a gathering of all the different Medipix chip users across the globe, and they were presenting using their map and basically their initial findings. Now, the important thing is, for these guys, this was a first trip outside of Scotland. I know that probably sounds a bit strange, but the big thing about what IRIS has wanted to do is provide the opportunity for people to go and present their work in different venues. And these guys were absolutely amazing, and I hope you all will be too in due course. What's coming up from IRIS is just about anything and everything you can possibly imagine. So we are just about right in the middle, the ugly little beast, slugs. The Royal Horticultural Society came to our launch back in March. Was so impressed with what schools can do that they've actually devised a project that we're going to be making public in the next week to 10 days, where there will be an opportunity, firstly, to do a census of the number of slugs that exist, because believably and unbelievably, they don't actually know what the population looks like these days. And off the back of that, then some work looking at barrier methods for slug control. But the more detail will follow. We've been lucky enough to get a grant from the UK Space Agency for something called Amazing Atmospheres, where we are looking at, in running in parallel to the ExoMars mission and looking at the trace gas orbiter, looking at the atmosphere on Mars. We want to be placing some gas analyzers in various locations around the UK, so we can actually do some comparisons between what Mars is like and what the Earth is like. The reason there's a picture of the Eden project is that Eden very kindly agreed that we can place some of the gas analyzers in their biomes. So this is about where we're starting to work together. If you're a chemist, we've got an exciting opportunity coming from UCL to work on ionic liquids. From the astronomers, Goon Hilly, Jodrell and the Twinkle project are all coming to us and saying, we want some amazing school scientists. Could you put us in touch with some, please? And I think you guys are it. We've also got something looking at engineering and wind turbines, but not the huge propeller types that you see there. A very innovative vertical wind turbine, where the company that's developed it wants to have schools help them in optimising the design. So there is perfectly possible for a school to come up with an optimal design for a wind turbine. And what we were hoping to do there is actually give you a kit to build your own wind tunnel, and then subsequently make some designs and test them. We ran a pilot looking at the Gaia mission, and this is the school from Eastbury Community School in the East End of London, and they very kindly got involved and started looking and analysing some data for us, and they actually managed to find some interesting items in there and presented their results to the Royal Astronomical Society. And as is becoming the case when schools get the opportunity, these guys actually blew their audience away with how on earth can 16 and 17-year-olds come up with this? But they can. Just to give you a brief example of the power of IRIS and how major scientists in this country are actually getting behind what we're trying to do. The gentleman in the middle is Professor Peter Higgs. Now, he is a Nobel laureate, put forward the theory in the 60s of the Higgs particle, which was subsequently proven 4 years ago. And off of all of the data from the ATLAS experiment at CERN, Oxford University have made it possible for us to have data previously scanned, so it's data that has something odd in it. And what we're giving that and making that available to schools, because it's perfectly possible that one of you in this room or anybody in the school elsewhere in the country could discover a baby Higgs particle. They think they exist, but nobody's actually been able to find them yet. But Professor Higgs is a lovely chap, but he doesn't actually do very many public speaking engagements, so we were actually incredibly fortunate that he loves what IRIS is doing and what schools are doing so much that he broke his normal rule and he actually came out and spent Friday with school students in Edinburgh. So please, if you're interested, it's all on our website, which is the neat plug right at the very end.